In this video, we're going to be going over what is happening in Utah County when it comes to new parks, when it comes to new commercial upgrading business building, when it comes to roads and infrastructures and what to expect if you're going to have a delay in construction and with UDOT, and what's going to be happening down with the Vineyard, the 15-minute city that has been proposed to happen, all within this video coming up. If this is your first time to my channel, hi, my name is Jenny. I am a real estate agent in the better half of the northern Utah County areas, Salt Lake, and I do not go down to South St. George or down to Cedar, wherever your needs may be met. I have been in real estate for 9 years, so make sure you hit that subscribe button below and that bell for notification to get a notification for every updated video that I make every week. I have people who are very similar to your situation who reach out to me, whether you're moving in 9 days or 9 months. So make sure you reach out. Let's talk about your situation and what's going to work best for you. I have a link below if you want to get connected with me via video, or just give me my phone number. All the information's below for what you need to get in touch with me. Until then, let's jump into this video, and I'm excited to talk to you about what's happening in Utah County. Wherever you are, your home ownership starts here right now on this channel with me, Jenny Pro Realtor. Welcome to my channel. In Utah, we have what is called the Utah Department of Transportation. We call it the UDOT. They're actually very, very friendly when it comes to their social media, and they give a lot of really good updates on what's going on. Last year, in 2023, they had 131 projects and spent approximately $1.1 billion on infrastructure for our roads here in Utah. There are two massive projects that are happening in Utah County when it comes to the UDOT. The first one is the Mountain View Corridor. Right now, looking at this map here, we have Salt Lake and Utah counties that are going to be affected with this $466 million project. And what's going to be happening here is the Porter Rockwell Boulevard on 2100 North, as you can see on the map here in Lehi, providing another transportation for the way from Lehi and Saratoga Springs all the way over to West Jordan or South Jordan. We've had massive blockage when it comes to traffic during the high influx of businesses coming in and out and on the Redwood Road. So they're building an infrastructure of bridges and roads, kind of turning it into more of like the 215 that you see over in Salt Lake County. And it's going to start in 2024. It is projected to be finished in 2026 on that one. The second biggest UDOT construction that is happening in Utah County is going to $166 million project off of the I-15, 116 and 2700 North interchange. I'm going to read this so I don't get it wrong. It's realigning adjacent frontage roads and improving the 1600 to 2700 North from Main Street in Spanish Fork to State Street, the SR 51 in Springville. The project is alleviated to congest the main line of I-15, the 400 South interchange in Springville, and the US 6 in Spanish Fork, and improve safety on the 1600 South to the 2700 North for walking, biking, driving. Construction is underway. If you're not familiar with Utah's construction on the roads, we have a lot of it. Because we have 4 seasons here in Utah, we have the summer, the winter, the fall, and the spring. It actually definitely plays a huge role on our roads. So we know come springtime in Utah that we're going to have a lot of pots that we're going to have to fill because the level of the ground sinks in because of the temperatures going from super cold to warm. So UDOT is a great company that comes out, and obviously it's our tax dollars that come forward and spending this money. And as you can tell, last year was $1.1 billion that were spent on the infrastructure of the roads. Now we always are having construction everywhere we go. Utah's kind of known for their construction, and those are the two top construction projects that are happening right now in Utah County. Now moving over to the biggest commercial projects that we're seeing over here in Utah County, and the majority of them seem to be around the hub of Provo, Orem, and Vineyard. Looking at this, Utah County and Utah and Salt Lake County are starting to have this idea of building what is called a 15-minute city, where you have all your infrastructures within the same area and location of living, which means they're trying to try to cram a lot of condos and townhouses into this type of infrastructure. The reason why Utah is trying to do some of this stuff is because of our high population density and our housing shortage that we have. These communities are going to help provide an opportunity not to have to commute as much, which causes problems to our air quality here in Utah because we do have the Wasatch Mountains, which it cave in and block the air, which cause a lot of pollution in the air. So these cities are hopefully an opportunity for people to drive less, to have convenience close, and to have a possibility to bring in and help the housing shortage supply that we have. So right now, looking over at my laptop, we have what is called the 700-acre mixed-use development in Vineyard. And the project is by Woodbury Corporation, which is a commonly known company in Provo to do infrastructures. So this is their website at Utah City, and it is going to give us the access to what we need. Looking at this location right here, you can see this is the type of city that they're wanting to build. It says impressive doesn't even begin to cover it. Utah City's redefining the quality of life. This is kind of interesting. I don't really know how I feel about it, but they want to maximize the efficiency with mixed use and space. Vineyard happens to be a city that had a lot of Geneva rock and mining happening. So the soil's not the greatest, but they did pass this project and it is underway to keep moving forward with it. So as you can see, here is the map on where they're wanting to build it. This is where the project would be. Vineyard is an up and coming city. In the last 5 years, it didn't really exist, but because Orem was expanding so much with their population and being a college town over here, they needed to move over onto the other side of the I-15 where the railroads were at. So there was a lot of businesses like Geneva and transportation companies over here, but now they're trying to build this beautiful city. They're going to have lake obviously in here. There's a lot of new news happening on this. There's still a lot of changes that could happen and move forward. This would be the Utah Lake. I used to go down here when I was in college and sit by the lake. Now that lake smells, but we're going to talk about a project they're actually working on to make that better for the wildlife and environment. That actually is going to be finished this year in 2024. But looking at this, you can see they're trying to create a lifestyle in Utah. Now something similar to what is happening over in West Jordan for what is called Daybreak. Daybreak is known for the lifestyle, and it kind of gives a vibe of like a beach feel. And you can kind of see here they're trying to capture that same vibe here. They're gonna have parks, they're gonna have the communities, they're gonna have the stores, they're gonna have the buildings, all kind of within the same infrastructure of this little city here. And that is proposed to start breaking ground hopefully by next year if they can get all the approvals. Right now they're just kind of announcing it, trying to get support of what's gonna happen, because you can see it's gonna be a massive infrastructure and definitely bring in a lot more city opportunities. That is what's happening over there for the Vineyard. And also something very close in the neighboring areas of Orem is the Huntsman Cancer Center. So let's talk about that one. Okay, according to the Daily Herald, Utah City donates $20 million in land for the Huntsman Cancer Institution for Vineyard for the research campus. So as you can see, Vineyard has got a lot of things going on with the 15-minute city infrastructure. Now we're gonna have a Huntsman Cancer Institution over here. This is the proposed opportunity right here. As you can see, this would be within the 15-minute city and the Huntsman Cancer Center would be right here. Now zooming down, you can see here's a $20 million project on a 48-acre plot. So down here, the Huntsman Cancer Institution, we really have one only in Salt Lake City. There are options down here of smaller places, but this is the largest building that we'll have in Utah County for a cancer institution. We also just get the Primary Children's Hospital, which is now sitting in Lehi. That took them a couple years. They have not broken ground on this one yet, but they are looking to have it start being built by next year and obviously give them a couple years to build this one. So this huge massive project for the Utah City right here is going to take a couple years. You can see this article came out in January of 2024, but it definitely is underway of making sure these projects can move forward. It is obviously they're saying the reasons why they want the Cancer Institution Center there, but we do know it is going to be going in and it's a great project. They've had a lot of donations towards this one. And the last one I'm going to be talking about with a commercial upgrade as far as business and infrastructure is happening here in Utah is going to be the Provo Airport. Provo already has an airport. They use Allegiant to fly out. I've actually flown them myself. It's actually a very small airport, and due to the infrastructure of the high population increase, we're wanting to expand that airport. So let's jump into those details. All right, the Provo Airport is a $30 million project. As you can see right here, it's going to be absolutely beautiful building, and they're hoping to have it finished by next year. The terminal opened in 2022. This is a newer terminal. The whole goal of this is try to expand to international, to add more gates. So they're introducing 3 or 4 gates on each side. They already have 12 gates on this one. Now, if you're coming from like Cedar City or from St. George, that's a 3-hour drive for you. Being able to go to the Provo Airport is a lot easier than having to go to Salt Lake. Now, Salt Lake is an international airport, and they also have had a lot of huge infrastructures and changes on that within the last 3 years. Knowing if you're flying Delta or Southwest, just know that Delta's got the better gates right now than Southwest, and plan to go early if you're flying Southwest in the Salt Lake International Airport. But for the Provo, it looks like they have 3 phase and expansions here and moving forward. They are kind of back on the end of the other side of the I-15 in Provo. So the Provo Airport right now is not an international airport, and it is going to be made an international airport, and hopefully trying to bring bringing in more airlines. Right now, they're just working with the airways of Allegiant and Breeze. And as you can see here, people love, to me, having another airport that is closer to me, I'm actually really excited about. I happen to fly Allegiant a lot more than I would fly Delta, just depending on where I'm going in the time frame, because Allegiant only flies certain days at certain destinations, and so you have to know and work around that schedule. But the flights end up being a lot cheaper. They do have baggage claim that they're going to be putting in with an infrastructure over here. Pay attention to that one as we're moving forward and moving and changing a lot more in Provo and Orem and Vineyard areas with the whole massive growth of commercial. Now let's move over to the parks and the recreation. So moving on from the recreational parks in Provo, we have the Provo River Delta. This has been a project that's been going on already for a couple of years. As you can see here on their website, they're trying to recover the threatened fish that's called the June sucker on this one. They have an awesome little video on here that showcases the river and what's going on in the channels that are coming from the Wasatch Mountains in Provo and trickling into the Utah Lake. Now, the Utah Lake is not predominantly known for its recreational activities of boating, skiing, swimming. It's mainly more of a wildlife environment and trying to preserve the wildlife and the agricultural land. So there are activities they are trying to promote by doing this. As you can see here on this land, the area project has been closed, hoping to be finished by this fall of 2024. But you can see they have new trailheads, new fishing platforms, no non-motorized boat launch, so you can't have any motors. You can see this is really about the wildlife over here and ability to walk around with trails and have fun in this area. Now, this is right by the Provo High School, so we're down further south from where the Vineyard and Orem area is, but this is going to be a beautiful area. You can see this is a timeline. They obviously started in 2020 and they're hoping to finish in 2024, and they have the small dam finished and finalized, the last thing that they need to do. This lake right here, if you're not familiar with the Utah Lake, on this other side is Saratoga Springs. A lot of people get views of this lake. This lake is not really meant recreationally. You're not going to see people boating in it. It is really for the wildlife because it does have a high alkalinity and people don't want to put their skin in that body water. So really, if you want to move forward and do more of a boating trip and fun stuff, you could move over to the Deer Valley Lake, which is closer to the Heber, Midway, in the Wasatch County areas. But this is a big project and it's going to be exciting that it's going to be finished this year. Let's talk more about what they're doing in Provo for the infrastructures for their trails. So we have the Rock Canyon trailheads you can see here. They're trying to build more trailheads to make it possible to go inside this canyon. Now, Provo is really known for a lot of their hikes and their trails, and so making that infrastructure is going to be quite important. They're hoping it to be completed by 2025 and did have the funding in 2023 to get it started. We also have the Provo Epic Sports Park, and it's going to add 11 existing sports parks to the field, making it a 21 full-size rectangular turf grass sports fields, as you can see here. And in this sports field, they are going to make it show for soccer and for baseball. We've got tennis down here, great big parking lot. This is going to be a bigger project. The completion is also going to be happening by the end of this year in fall. Provo City has a higher demand for the community recreation field use than current field inventory allows. So the annual community needs demonstrate by the 300 plus local teams that are currently limited to use the 11 existing sports fields in Provo. The Epic Sports Park facility is created to meet the current and future demand of high quality sports fields and benefit the Utah County from regional sports travel tourism of the large capacity facility. That's the sports park in Provo. The first 15 fields in this one will be completed by fall of 2024, and the remaining 6 fields and pickleball facilities will be completed fall of 2026. The Epic Sports Parks will be managed by the industry of qualified turf managers and state-of-the-art control technology called WeatherTrack. This is a $30 million annual in local travel tourism spending. The success of this project is the result of the support of the Utah County and the state of Utah trying to pursue the unique opportunities and developing beneficial partnership and the innovative of the project management. Utah is really well known for their parks and what they can provide for these parks. Utah alone has hundreds of parks in Utah County, and it's exciting to know that we're putting more parks in Provo for the recreational needs of all types of sports. Well, that is a wrap of this video, guys, and understanding the massive commercial infrastructures, the road infrastructures, and the park infrastructures, and the wildlife happening here in Utah County. If you're interested in more videos like this, please leave a comment below, and I'll do a lot more research. As you can tell, I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a news anchor, but I do like to let you know about what's happening in the communities around you. I'll see you guys in my next video.